Hey class, welcome back. So we have been talking all about polar lands this week. We've been reading and learning so much good information, all these facts, all about the polar lands and also some of the animals that live in the polar lands. Remember the South Pole and the North Pole? And we've been learning a lot about it. So, yesterday you wrote great questions. So, as we read, one of the great skills that we practice is asking questions as we read. And by asking questions, we're really focusing on some things that we want to know more about. And then it encourages ourselves to find the answers in the text. So that is one great thing that we need to keep practicing as readers is asking ourselves questions as we go along. That helps with our comprehension as well. So we remember what we're reading as we go along. So yesterday your questions were awesome. Good job with those. They're beautiful, complete sentences with question marks at the end. So today, instead of questions, we are going to write facts. So you are going to do the same thing like you did yesterday. I'd like you to have a piece of paper and a pencil, and you're going to have a blank piece like this, okay? So I would like you to go ahead and put the date on the top. It is January 15th, 2021. Go ahead and date the top of your paper. All right, and we're going to write on that polar land facts, okay? Let's write polar animal facts because I'm actually going to be reading to you about two different polar animals today. So let's change that. Polar animal facts, okay? And then always we'll just go ahead and underline that so it looks nice. And our title is nice at the top. Good job. Polar animal facts. So as I read today, I am going to have you be thinking of the things that you hear, the interesting information that you hear, and you will write it on your list. So we numbered our questions yesterday. It's up to you. You can number your page today, or you can just do a little dot. However you'd like to organize your list is up to you. Miss Thomas, I usually will do like a little dot like this, like a bullet point on the side. And we'll start. Before we begin, I have a couple new vocabulary words for you just in case, and those are ice floes. An ice floe is a large chunk of sea ice floating in the ocean. So a sea floe is a big chunk of ice. Blubber is another word for thick fat. So when you think of a whale out in the water, a whale has blubber. It's a thick layer of fat in their body. Stray means to wander. So we read a story last week about a stray dog. He was alone and wandering away from the rest of, he didn't have a family. So if somebody is straying, they're wandering, kind of going away. Coastal areas are land along the ocean. So you think of the coast, the beach, the area right next to the water. Glide means smooth. If you're gliding along some ice, it means that you're kind of scooching along really smooth. Huddling means crowding. If people are huddled together, it means they're really close, kind of shoulder to shoulder. So huddling means crowding. All right, one other one, snuggle. If you've never heard this word snuggle, it just means to get close and comfortable. So you might snuggle with your blanket at night in bed, which just means you pull it in tight and you get yourself comfortable. So those are some of the words that might show up in our story as we go. Alrighty, so listen along as I read, and I would like you to write down some facts that you hear in the story. The first animal we're going to read about is a polar bear. There's the polar bear. King of the Ice, it is titled. King of the Ice. Polar bear. The polar bear is the largest and most powerful hunter in the Arctic. Bears roam alone over long distances each day in search of seals to eat. So what do they eat? They eat seals. That might be a really good fact to write. So let's write that on our list. Polar bears eat seals. That's a fact, and we pulled it right from the text. So that's text evidence, you guys. Polar bears eat seals. Another one that it said is the polar bear is the largest and most powerful hunter in the Arctic. So we could say the polar bear is the largest hunter, or you can write the whole sentence. So I'm going to say a polar bear is the largest hunter, what did I say? In the Arctic. In the Arctic. All right, and I'll show you what my list is looking like so far with those bullet points. So see, I'm just putting a little dot, and then I write my fact, and then I usually skip a line, and then make another dot, a bullet point, and write my next fact. So go ahead and continue to do this as I read. Surviving the cold is the next subheading here. So this is our big heading, King of the Ice, all going to be about a polar bear. Here's a subheading about surviving the cold. Polar bears spend most of their time on ice floes. Remember, an ice floe is a big chunk of ice floating out in the water. They are also excellent swimmers, and they can spend many hours in the freezing water. Oily fur and a layer of blubber keeps these bears warm. So there are some great facts right there for you. Also, just know you may pause the video. Just like always, pause the video if I'm reading too fast for you. It's hard to write and listen at the same time, and I understand. So pause the video. Also, scroll down and you can see these pages in picture form down below if you need help with spelling or you just can't remember what that fact was that you wanted to write about, okay? The next subheading is junk food. Junk food, he's right over here. Polar bears can stray, so it means wander, they can wander into towns to find food. Sometimes they visit garbage dumpsters where they may be poisoned or injured. Oh no. Does it look like the polar bear is eating food? I see like a box of some sort. He looks like he's eating a jar, maybe of mayonnaise or something. Poor guy. Imagine if he swallowed a piece of plastic or something like that. That would really hurt him. That could be very, very dangerous for the polar bear. The next section is the subheading is mother care. Baby polar bears are called cubs. There's a good fact. They are born in a warm, cozy den that their mother digs in the snow, and they grow quickly on their mother's rich, fatty milk. So they drink milk to grow as little cubs. All right, so that was a lot of information about a polar bear. We're going to read about one other animal that lives in the Arctic. All righty? Dun, 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 dun. Penguins. Crowds of penguins, this heading says. Penguins live in the coastal areas of the Antarctic. These birds cannot fly, but they use their wings to glide under the water as they chase their food. This subheading says group hug. There they are. Group hug. These young emperor penguins are huddling together to stay warm. They take turns going in the middle where it's the warmest. So they work together to make sure that they crowd around each other and keep each other warm. Sliding along, this subheading says, to travel quickly on land, penguins slide across the snow on their bellies. The snow on their bellies, and they use their wings to push and steer. So sort of like a sled. Have you ever seen a sled going down a snowy hill before? I know we don't get snow in Florida, but have you ever seen a sled, maybe in a movie or on TV? And you use the sled and you move your body weight to make it move and steer. So the penguins are similar. Feet off the ground. The ice is much too cold for young chicks. To stay off of it, they stand on their mom or their dad's feet, and they snuggle underneath a special flap of skin on the adult's belly. So it's important that the bigger penguins take care of the little penguins and keep them safe and warm from the cold, cold conditions. All right, so again, there is a lot of facts about penguins and then facts about polar bears. So today you are creating a list and you are writing all of the facts, those interesting facts that you find about these polar animals. Alrighty, so we started a couple. I would like you to pull some more from the text. All right, pull that text evidence, pull those facts, and write them on a piece of paper. Will you send me a photo of those in Dojo, please? I look forward to reading what you learned today. I will talk to you later. Please let me know if you have any questions at all. All right, bye-bye.